going to talk football.
Wow, how about that? Let's talk football now. We're not going to
Oh,
talk football. We know nothing about football,
no,
except we know one thing. Carolina Panthers are playing today for a big spot. So
that's
let's
right.
not rely on Atlanta. Let's take care of business ourselves. Let's go
Hey,
Panthers.
I always say, in any event in sport, you don't want to come in through the back door. You want to go in like you belong there. Now you got there by accident.
Yep. All right, welcome everybody. My name is John Constant. You can see the traveling handicapper. Today we are located at snowy, cold
Yeah.
Monmouth Park. We got an NHC contest today, and Fred York, my host over there, he is in the Let It Run studios. But you could see it's just loaded with Carolina paraphernalia back there. So we know he's a Panther fan. So I got the NHC contest today. We're going to go through the late pick 5 at Oaklawn. But my contest covers 3 different tracks. So going to get back to business after we do this Oaklawn. Fred, what
Sure.
do you got to say on this chilly Saturday morning?
Well, once again, for those who are used to my old voice, um, any new viewers who are tuning in today at 12:30, this is not my voice. I am not doing helium. I had a couple people who texted me and said I should stop doing the helium. It wasn't quite that simple, but I'm doing a lot better. I feel good. Doing good. Excited about today's races. Probably, we'll get close to. I don't know if we'll be able to catch that the third race at the Aqueduct live
hmm
while we're doing the show because I think it goes off at 110 or something like that. But we'll cover that race last. Um, it's an exciting day. Going to have some Derby preps again. One at Oaklawn Park, and this other one going to be at Aqueduct coming up soon at race 3. John, I wish you the best of luck again. Once again at the contest. Hope you can capture a seat there at the NHC contest in Vegas. You've been there 4 times. How many times you been there? 4 or 5? How many times, John?
3 times, but I had 4 entries. One year I had a double entry.
Okay.
So
Okay. Cool.
this is one of the last few chances for this year. So I'll try today and the 31st of January, which hopefully Fred will be sitting next to me here doing the podcast the
Yes, sir.
31st.
Yeah.
And that's probably the last chance. And then we'll shift gears to starting in March, focusing on next year qualification that we all get there. It's a fun time when everybody makes it.
Sure.
So
When is it this year? When is the contest actually this year?
it's around St. Patrick's Day, usually like March 13th, 16th, 17th, something like that. So
Okay.
whatever that weekend falls. So
Okay. Cool.
two
Hey,
two
John,
last efforts.
I like the new format. This round. It looks good. We look. Zoom in on. All right.
All right,
Let's go, John.
let's
Get
get
scared,
going.
buddy.
All right, the Oaklawn pick 5, the late pick 5, starts in race 7, 2:55 Central Time. So more like dinner time for us around here on the East Coast. Uh, Trying to find the sequence where you could go short, and then other races where you could really spread. And I found the 2 first races to be pretty chalky. So I'm going to try to hit an early double in the pick 5, and then go really deep the last 3 legs and
Okay.
hope for chaos at the end. So that's how I'm approaching this here. First race, 6 furlongs, optional state bred, Arkansas bred. Have to put a lot of faith in Arkansas breds, but I saw the race between basically 3 horses. The 5, Nikolai. If he runs back to his last effort, I mean, they're just running for second. There's nobody has numbers that could compete with that. And also the 11 horse, very consistent horse, and first time gelding. But if you look, he was gelded on the 28th of December. I mean, he's going to run 6 days after that. So I think they reported that wrong, and that's just
Yeah. Really.
that's a little bullshit when they do that because he didn't get gelded 6 days ago. So, but he is working out the last couple pretty good. He's another one that I would consider with Saez. But he might be a little too far back because he's coming out of those route races. Now in a sprint, he'll have himself back in a race not with too much speed. And the 12 horse Zippy Mark, who's an Arkansas bred that won at Saratoga, not show up there. He won at Saratoga, so that don't happen much. Other than that, the field's pretty straightforward. That I don't see any contenders other than the 5, 11, and 12. And for ticket purposes, I leaned on the 5, and hopefully he runs back to that number, and I get out of the leg with my first single.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question the 5 has a lot of check marks next to that horse. Why you could almost, I'm not singing because I just look at all these races we mentioned yesterday on our happy hour podcast, John. You know, if I want to call myself a student of Brisnet, but I certainly like and use a lot of their angles, their numbers, particularly prime power. On one end, when prime power numbers are +6, +7, +8, even +10,
Yep.
the win rate goes up 46, 48, 52%. When you get those kind of differences between number one and number two. But in all these races in the late pick 5, the prime power numbers for whatever value you place on them, I do place some value on them. There's a difference between the top 5 or 6 ones. That's why in this race I went again. I'm using some of the horses you definitely used. For sure, the 5 looks like he's going to be the best horse. Probably the 11 to 12. I also, as you mentioned, I used the 4. I like Arietta on that horse coming down in class. I think he has a chance. Last time was his, or the time before, he won in the mud, but he ran a nice race there. Last time was his first time with winners. Got kind of beat up pretty bad. He has a chance. I'm taking a kind of a flyer long shot with this 8 horse. I know he's number 2 prime power. So, his buyer speed figure last out won't scare anybody, but it's higher than the buyer par for this. That race was a mile. This race, he hasn't won in a while. I know that. He's getting a new jockey. He has the highest last speed rating. So, again, just looking to, put some horses in that might have a chance, John. So, a lot of horses we agree on. There's a couple I have in there that you don't have. We'll see how that goes.
All right, moving on to race 8. It is a big time money allowance, just like they like to run in Arkansas there this time of the year. 115,000 non-winners of one other than going 2 turns, a mile and a 16th on the dirt. Another race that, if I don't lean on the 6 is my top pick. If I don't lean on him, I would have to go, 3, 4 deep. But the good thing is he's not the morning line favorite. I expect him to be the post time favorite.
Yeah.
You got a horse coming out of the Kentucky Derby, which his last race was in the Kentucky Derby. Other than that, that race and the Risen Star, really, he wasn't competitive. The other races, he was competitive. I mean, he held his own against, some of those big names. But,
Sure.
he's 1 for 8, first time Lasix, as a favorite, first time out, off the long layoff. It's just not worth, the value there. So I'm going to try to beat him and create a little bit of value in the multis with the second choice, the 6 as a single for me. But if I was going a little deeper, the 1 is somebody as a crazy price you could throw in there. The 2 is another one I would put in, and the 3, and actually the 4. So there you go. I lifted about 4 or 5 horses, and I
Sure.
don't think this is the race to go too deep. So I'm going to lean on the 6 here. But if I was spreading, it would be the 1, 2, 3, and 4. I would also use.
Yeah, I'm a little leery of the 3. I mean, because of the class, and you got McPeak and Hernandez, first time Lasix, not leaving that horse off the ticket. But I'm kind of leaning against him. I like the 6 a lot. I think this race sets up pretty good for the 6. I think any of the horses that get out that show a little bit of speed, this horse is going to, kind of come hard at the end. Torres is on him again, been on him for 4 times. Second off a layoff. More line 3 to 1. I expect that line to go up from 3 to 1, quite frankly. And I like the 6. Like you mentioned, the 6 is another good horse. I'm talking about the 6 Super Cruise. I'm talking about the 8 Dance Samo. Again, ridden by Arietta. That horse ran a really nice race last out. I could see that horse possibly getting a chance. So, I mean, I went not deep, but I went a little deep in here at 368. I know, as you mentioned, you could lock your ticket up into one horse if you're really going to do that. I'm doing that at the very end. We'll talk about that race when we get to the last race. But I'm going 368 here, John.
All right. We'll see how that goes. We are on to race 9, the middle leg of the, and I love, I just saw their $3 pick 3. They call it the $3 get out pick 3. And that's usually what we're looking for as horse players, to get out. and a $3 pick three is the way to do it if you can nail it. So just
I like they
watching
call
this.
that the get out.
I
I
need
didn't know
this
that.
three on Aqueduct. Come on, 6-1, 6-1. He's getting up. So he beat the 1-2 favorite. So
You
that's a
got it?
good that's good for my pick five. Not
Yeah.
and play it in the contest.
Okay.
So
There you go.
all right, moving on to race 9. A race here that I could really go deep. Let's see. Um, Probably the class of the race consistency. The 3, but is my top pick. He doesn't have to win. Um, the 1 has been interesting. For me, David Jacobson. Uh, he had a moderately paced race and he closed at 6 furlongs last time. So he was coming out of longer races. So when he
Yeah,
did shorten up, they were going, pretty moderately run race, and he closed into that. Um, and he just couldn't get to the winner. But I think second time in a row at this distance, at 10-1, I would definitely throw him in there. That's one of my top picks. The 2, I would be, kind of against, but I don't want to get beat by him. Just a jockey. He's 1 for 39. Uh, and the horse that beat him last time, Roll on Big Joe, if he was in this race, he'd be 1-2.
sure.
So um, the 3's classy one. The 5, he needs the lead and he needs Lasix. So if you look at the 3 races without Lasix, he's not the same horse. He did run with, the good ones, Super Chow, Bookham Dano, Mulligan.
Sure.
But he's got to be loose on the lead. I don't see him loose on the lead here. So I think this is a good one to try to beat and go a little bit deep. So if we could beat him as, the morning line favorite there, that would go a long way. I just don't see him getting a loose lead. I think there's enough pace in the race that makes it interesting and would help, the 3 and the 1 come running. Um, and then the other one, the 6 with Rosario and Asmussen. He's in this race, for like a purpose. I mean, if he was just, picking a spot and then Steve would have his sons ride the horse, whatever, but he's coming back off a, almost a year layoff. Rosario on for Asmussen. So definitely here for a reason. So I would include him as well. So I basically went 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I used a bunch of them in here.
Yeah, a lot of horses you mentioned are a couple of horses I used. I'm using a 3. I think that horse is probably going to be the best horse in the race. I just think Santana is not having one of his better meets, but still a good jockey. I think that horse, with Santana getting on, he's been on a horse before, kind of knows the horse, and I think Norm Cass is putting him on this horse for a reason. I use the 5 also. I agree with your analysis there, John, with Lasix. He's running without Lasix. And when he runs without Lasix, he does tend to not run very well. That's a concern, certainly. Don't know what the rationale is behind putting a horse on Lasix or taking him off Lasix. That's maybe a question we can ask a veterinarian when we get a veterinarian on our podcast. We've got some guests coming up in the future. But I like the 6 as well. The 6 is actually my top pick. I just agree with you 100%. Joel Rosario getting back on this horse. Did like the mud last time out. That was a while ago. Working out very, very strong for the return for Stevie Asmussen. This horse was previously in the barn of the late, great, the coach, D. Wayne Lucas. So since then, he was transferred into the Steve Asmussen barn. I think that horse has been obviously under Steve Asmussen's tutelage for a while, working out like clockwork, getting ready for this race. I think this horse pointed to this big race. Great at the distance, 9 out of 10 times in the money at this distance. So I think that horse at a price of 12-1 could light up your bad best. I think I want to make a comment though on the 2 horses you mentioned, the 1 and the 11. The 1 is 10-1 inside. The 11 is 10-1 outside. Navy Seal. If you're looking for a horse to put in your exactas with whatever other horses you want, those horses are always around the wire at the end of the races. Look at the last 7 races for both of those horses. I mean, second, first, second, third, first, second, first, third, first. They're always around the wire. And if they're more than 10-1 or even 10-1, You put that in with a nice horse they like, a horse they think's got a good chance to win. You're going to make some money off that. So keep that in mind too, John.
Yeah, and they both got the best late pace figures. And if the race, like I said, the 5 doesn't
Yeah,
get an easy lead and they mix
yeah.
it up, the 1 and 11, they're the two comers.
Mm-hmm.
All
Agreed.
right, sorry, I can't shake this cough since the the wedding and the group of people, the holiday and all. It just I got this tickling cough, so I apologize for that. All right, moving on to the Smarty Jones number 10
Yeah.
race. We did cover it in detail yesterday, so if you want full analysis of horse by horse, and the way I saw the race yesterday, basically it's pretty wide open where I don't trust either of the favorites at 3-1 and 5-2. The 1 and the 5 are the horses to beat.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But the ones I'm going to take a shot with is the 4, 6, and 9. We covered that. Go ahead, Fred.
That's okay. Yeah, no, we covered that yesterday, in depth. I agree with you about the 1. In fact, if you look at I used the 1 on my pick 5 ticket just because, I think that horse with Joel Rosario on him and Ken Peak. Ken Peak has 2 horses in here, the 1 and the 9. Both are certainly good horses, and I wouldn't want to leave off any ticket that you have. But I went with the 1, 5, 7, 9. I think the 9 from that post has a big shot to go ahead and make some noise in this race. I like the 7 the best. Strategic Risk. Uber impressive last time out. Again, kind of a big field. There were 10 horses in that field. And the horse won by 9 lengths. Has come back to work out well after that. That was the first time that horse got to 2 turns on dirt. So, a horse getting on dirt at 2 turns for the first time, putting up best Beyer speed figure of that horse's career, so to speak. I think right away you cannot look at that and say, hey, there's some kind of problem there, because that's a nice horse to look at. His morning line is 6-1. Like I mentioned, the Prime Powers ratings from Brisnet for all these races are kind of the same. But this horse is the number 1 Prime Power. A little bit of gap between the number 1 horse and the number 2 horse. But Mark Casse, I think, has this horse ready to go. Mark Casse, John, is having a tremendous meet there, hitting at 50%. 7 out of 14, 3 seconds, 1/3. I wouldn't leave that horse off the ticket at all. So my numbers here are 1, 5, 7, 9, John, and my pick 5.
Yep. And after we talked that yesterday, I included the 7 as well. I didn't give him much, but then after your comments, I went back and looked, and I added this 7. I'm going to include the 1 and the 5, but they're not my keys. I'm going to try to beat them at the prices, and I'm just going to use them defensively, not to get knocked out by them. So we'll see. We'll move on to the last leg, and this is the race how we're going to get paid. I could get paid multiple ways. Fred can get paid one way. Fred, started out with your one-way payment.
Yeah, not very often I do that, but I just think this race is loaded with speed. There's no question about it. And if the race is loaded with speed, should you look for a horse that is not a speed horse? Not me.
Speed of the speed.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 1 horse. He's got the rail. Has not raced at Oaklawn Park before, but clearly has been working out a couple of times in Oaklawn Park, and looks like he's taken to the Oaklawn Park dirt on the workouts he's shown at Oaklawn Park. I don't think this horse is going to have any problem. You have the rail. You have Louis Saez on for the first time, who Matt Shearer and Saez, when they team up, they hook up at like 31%. I'll take that anytime. And again, there is a lot of speed in the race. A couple speed horses got scratched out. The number 4, Run, Jail, and Run. I don't know if that's any reference to the Eagles or not. And the number 7, JP Race, also got scratched out. Those are 2 other speed horses. So I think losing those 2 speed horses, I think, gives a significant advantage to Louis Saez on the rail. And if he gets out and cuts this horse loose, I think this horse has the highest last out Beyer speed figure by a mile. It's 5 points above the par for this. There really is no other horse. The 7 was the only other horse who had a Beyer speed figure close to this horse. And so does the 11. little bit outside. The 2 scratches helped the 11. I'm a little worried about the 11, but just to keep my ticket somewhat reasonable, I'm singling the 1 there, John.
Yeah, after those scratches, now I'm re-looking at the race. I did this last night, and now the scratches really makes the 1. Speed of the speed could be lone speed. The 11 from out there, if he was drawn inside better, I would lean on him more. I'm going to include him, but really now looking at it, hearing your analysis, the 1 is going to be really tough to beat on the rail with Saez hustling him out of there. And the only other one is 6 horse, very lately raced young horse. $600,000 purchase. Maybe he's just progressing at the right time.
Sure.
The 1 horse, has run in, 16 claimers, 25 claimers. The 6 really, hasn't proven, he could still be, a stakes horse. He could still be something special.
Sure.
You know what the 1 is. And with the scratches really helps the 1, but, I would use the 6 as much as the 1 in here. And then throw the 11 in just because the scratches has to help him get closer and maybe work out a trip stalking the 1. So I'm only, I think I'm three deep, 1, 6, 11. I got a very budget friendly ticket,
Sure.
$54 for the day. And I was trying to add in some more horses to make it, potential to pay out. I just couldn't find them. So
Sure.
I just was happy with a $54 ticket, really
Yeah.
reasonable. And basically, if you could get past the early double, it's like, betting a $50 double or a $54 pick 5, which would pay more. If I just bet a $50 cold double, I just got to hope the pick 5 comes in with a chance of some balloons where it could pay more than what a $50 double would pay. So that's the
Well,
decision you got to make to see, how big of favorites you're dealing with. And do you think it's more value to take the pick 5 or just a $50 cold double?
I think that's what we do. We talk about the horses we like. We talk about why we like the horses. Again, looking at the scratches, which is why I think this podcast has some value for a lot of reasons. But I think, like we just mentioned in that race, with the scratches that came about this morning, that makes the 1, I think, a really strong pick in that race. That horse no way is going to be 5-2 on the morning line or post time when the gates open up. No way he'll be in. He's 9-5. I'll be happy if he's 9-5 because I'm sure they're going to also take that horse as an opportunity to make some money on that horse wire in the field. So, all right, John, how about we get to the race coming up soon at Aqueduct? How many minutes we got there? About 10 minutes of that race at Aqueduct?
You got about 15 minutes, so we probably won't catch it live. We'll be off here before that starts. But
check it out now.
After some more analysis, we gave it, a breakdown, and you said you got to use basically all 3 of those horses. I did wind up singling the 1 horse in my pick 5, which he's 4-1, and he's against a 1-9 shot. So, he is taking money over the 3 horse, which I thought was going to be the favorite, but it's the ex Baffert horse that's 1-9 right now.
Wow.
So
I'm looking at that now. Wow, John, that's unbelievable. 1-9.
Yeah. I really almost didn't even have him as a winner, but now he's 1-9. But I'm singled on the pick 5 to the 1 horse, and I will make a nice contest play, especially with all this, overloaded money on the 4 makes such value on the other 2 horses.
Yeah.
So the 1 and the 3 are definitely value. Let me just look at the will pays right here to see if that's going to continue to be the the betting pattern here. Will pays.
Interesting.
Nah, I mean basically it's just a lot of early money. So they're all going to be
okay.
The 4 is going to be the favorite slightly, probably 4-5. The 3 horse looks like he'll be 6-5, and the 1 horse might be 2-1, and the 2 horse will be 50-1. So they'll all be close come post time. So that's just early money there. So I'm gonna go with the 1 with Flavian Pratt and George Weaver, and hoping that 23-1 upset was not a fluke. And see, because the value is there.
Well, like we talked about, I'm with you on the single and the 1. I just think if you're looking for value and trying to get some increase in your value in terms of pick 5, I think single and 1 makes sense. Again, obviously jockeys, you got to have a horse on the. I think all the horses, fairly equal except for the 2, maybe a little bit in above his head. But I think when you have 4 horses in a race, it becomes as much a jockey race as it does a horse race. I think Flavien Prat on the rail, going to have options. Going to see what Balboa does. I think the only shot this two has, the two's just going to fly out and just probably put up some crazy fractions, which will allow Pratt to follow this horse around the track and see where it goes. But I agree. I think the one has a big shot in this race, John. So I hope it works out for you and both of us.
Okay. And you want to cover, Fred, like what's coming up next week?
Yeah, Friday we have our guest, John O'Hara, coming on for a happy hour at 3 o'clock. So be sure to tune into that. John, give you a little brief summary on his background.
Yeah, John O'Hara was, a big back in the day when I was a younger lad playing softball, solo pitch softball. He was one of the top sponsors, O'Hara, limousine, and he is a Trenton Softball Hall of Famer. Just and now he's a big horse race guy. He has a stable at Parks, and they run all over the Laurel, Parks, Penn National, New York. Um, very fun group of people, very great guy, very knowledgeable about so much with the racing industry. So we're going to get him on the show just to have a chat about his background, how he got involved, what he's doing now, how his stable's doing. He also is waiting for the results of the election. He's trying to get on the Philadelphia racing board.
Yeah,
They pick 5 owners that are voted on by the horse owners, and I was one of those votes. So you got 5 owners and 5 trainers that are on the board of the Philadelphia Horse Racing Association, Pennsylvania. So those results, I asked him the other day, will be out on Monday night at the
okay.
results dinner. So
Cool.
we will have the answer and hopefully have a board member from
Sure.
the association join us on Friday. But either way, it's going to be great to just chat horses with John and see what he's looking forward to in the spring and the summer, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, as we move forward, we're trying to get this podcast even more interesting with guests like John O'Hara, like some jockeys, like some trainers, some other handicappers coming on just to talk about what their thoughts are on handicapping. John mentioned Brian Skirka from
Talk to him
Mullen.
today.
Yeah, getting on our podcast. You talked to him today?
I talked to him today when I was signing up for the contest and said, we'd love to have you on, just talking about contests and, what he's like one of the best contest guys in the country when it
Absolutely.
comes to that. So to get him on to talk about low entry contests, he's out in Vegas at the NHC. He's one of the guys that runs the day of events out there. So, great guy to get on and a very good handicapper in his own right.
Sure.
So,
That'd be
I
awesome.
talked to him and he said, just hit me up and
Great.
he'll jump on a podcast. So we got some fun guests coming up, with trainers and jockeys, and great one today, a veterinarian. We'll get, our vet Ed, on the
Sure.
show. And,
That'd be great to talk to a vet about some things because I was reading on Horse Racing Nation. There was some really cool, like synopsis talking to a lot of different um, horse owners, trainers about dirt conditions, about track conditions. They were covering lots of different topics. One of the topics they covered, and Kenneth McPeak was adamant. He was talking about vets. He thought they completely overstepped their boundaries with some of the scratches in the Breeders' Cup, particularly scratching of Torpedo Hannah. He was adamant about that. I mean, you read that article, Horse Racing Nation. I don't know if you caught that or not, John.
Yeah, he wasn't unhappy with it. So got to find out, from a vet, what would cause something like that to,
Well, it'd be interesting to get
transpire.
that. Yeah, obviously they're looking to protect the horses. We understand that, but and that's their job. Respect that. Have to obviously go with what they recommend. No question about that. But no. So moving forward, our happy hours, we're going to try and keep them a little bit lighter with some more fun. And again, we're going to continue to try and get more podcasts throughout the week as time goes on. John will next week on Friday and Saturday probably have some other of his friends or guest handicappers on for Saturday. I'll be trying to get smarter in my career as a physical therapist. We have to spend 30 hours a year doing continuing education, so we know that this is the elbow and this is the hand and all those kind of things. You got to make sure we understand all that. But so I'll be doing that all day Friday and all day Saturday, which is cool. It's unfortunate I won't be able to join it, but maybe I'll give you another chance, John, for my voice to kind of clear up. We'll see how that goes.
All right, but if you have a opinion or like a ticket you want to put up, definitely
Sure.
share it on the
Sure.
banner for Saturday.
I'll
So
have
I'll
an
let you
opinion.
know.
Well, I'll have an
Oh,
opinion.
we know that, Fred. We know that.
So on that note, let me just do two outros here. Our basic outro, we're saying, bet smart, cheer harder, fast horses equals serious fun. And until next time, let it run. But also, let's go. Keep pounding. Let's go, Panthers. Let's go. I want to beat those Buccaneers. Move on. I don't care who we play in the next round. 4:30, Panthers. Let's go, John. And good
All
luck
right.
to you today, John.
Thanks, man.
Good luck in your contest. Hope to hear some good news from you later, brother. All right. Have
All
a
right.
good one.
Thanks.
Thanks, John.